who don't have a clue about what else is going on. They'll go to see lines and get really excited about that. And friends in the contact community who don't really go to see a lot else that's going on. And then people that cross over. So I guess one of my pet peeves is that having lived and worked in Europe and taught at the choreography department of the theater school for many years, the School for New Dance Development, it seems to me that what's lacking here is education, and that there isn't a lot of education around history, so we don't all have to keep trying to reinvent the wheel, understanding what not just what the Bay Area history is, but what are people doing in other places, what's happening in New York, what's happening in Europe, how is the work that we're making here influenced by that work and vice versa, so that there's a little more of an international dialogue. That's what I really miss here.
No, I think that's exactly what we're trying to
inch our way towards. I think you're hitting a lot of those interesting questions.
Yeah, and for me there is also something very paradoxal, because you have, there is a big background history of dance. You had a lot of, you test a lot of things in the 70s in United States, here, in New York, on both coasts, even if they are really different. And it's like, we did it too in Europe, but after you. And now we try to do it differently and to test it maybe in the same way. So we bring back the same question, but in another period, so context. So it's exciting in a way, and here, finally, you see a lot of academic work, things like that. So it's like you cut part of your history. So the question of the transmission is really important, heritage.
Well, it just seems to me that it's partly a question of infrastructure in many different ways. There isn't a lot of infrastructure supporting dance here, and this is how we see it. So how do we make that happen for us, for the bigger community? And not that we have to do it, but I think that is kind of one way of setting up the question. I'm kind of feeling like maybe now is the time to kind of segue into opening the wine bottles and bringing out the potato chips and the chocolate-covered pretzels and continuing. Please continue. I'm so excited, you guys. This is fabulous. This is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. So I just want to say I think we've really started something, and I'm really glad. And please help me continue. There will be another one in the next 3 months or something, and another, and another, and another, and another, and we'll create the infrastructure that way.
I'd like to make just one, it doesn't need to be recorded, but just an announcement is if you are free in the next 2 nights, I think one of the zeitgeists in world dance right now is what's going on in Africa or between African artists and African artists who are working in being funded in Europe or going to Asia and coming to the States in these different ways, that sort of what is contemporary African dance is actually one of the sort of leading things going on. And this guy, Faustin Lenyukula, who's from Kinshasa, Congo, has a show that you can see in its entirety if you go Friday night. It's a 2-hour show called Festival of Lies, and if you want to see the experimental version, the 2-hour performance will play out during a 6-hour time period on Saturday, and then it will be interspersed with, you get to dance to a Congolese pop band, and then you get to watch performance by a bunch of locals. There's 4 of us locals who are in it.
African cuisine.
And then you can also just go and eat, or there'll be times when nothing happens, times that are more participatory, times when it's like, and I'll just tell you from the inside of the process, we have no idea what's going to happen. It's not set even when the breaks of Faustin's show is, or what the offerings of those of us who are coming are going to be.
It's $30.
It's not $30 if you can remember the 4 numbers 3059. You can have a half-price ticket.
Oh, cool. There you go.
You dance?
He's in
Yes.
I dance
Saturday
with
night.
too.
Oh.
Yeah.